Okay, in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about Bloom's taxonomy. And the idea here is that each week I want to give you some, I guess you could call it a pep talk or motivational talk that lets you know what I'm thinking and the plans for the course and how I think this helps you develop as an engineer. Remember, that's our goal here. We want you to grow and develop as an engineer. And to do that, it helps to understand the process, okay, of learning and how you would want to develop. All right, so if you look up the word taxonomy, it means it's a scheme of classifying things. And before we move further on into that, I wanted to give you one of my favorite quotes. All models are wrong, but some are useful. Okay, so by that I mean Bloom's taxonomy, like anything else, it doesn't totally explain how we learn things and what stage we're at in learning, but it's a good model that's useful for helping us think about how to make progression and to improve as engineers. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Bloom's taxonomy, and then I want to discuss the way I'm assigning homework and how I think you should view it and some of the things that I want you to think about as you go through things. All right, so let me move this video window. All right, so here's Bloom's taxonomy. It's shaped like a pyramid. I like that pyramid shape. You know, a pyramid is a very stable type of structure. And the better you're able to build this pyramid, the more stable and a better structure you'll end up with. Okay, so at the bottom is remembering, so being able to recall facts and basic concepts. And then you need to be able to distill those and understand those. So you move up the pyramid towards understanding. And so you can explain things and identify and recognize different properties and maybe explain it to someone else, that kind of thing. From there, and this is where it becomes important in engineering, we need to be able to apply certain concepts. So in my mind, in an introductory course, that application step comes from using basic principles of math and science and engineering concepts and applying those in situations to do analysis, okay, and figuring out, you know, what is the weight that this particular structure can support, you know, coming up with something like that. All right, from there, you apply that and you are able to set up different analysis types of problems and make answers to questions. You can evaluate different proposed designs, for example, and all this lets you, you know, if you work your way up the pyramid here, it leads to being able to create products and do the things that engineers do. Okay, so I go back to George Box and his quote, all models are wrong. Okay, so in a sense, you know, you can jump straight from the bottom of the pyramid to the top and create something. In fact, I'm going to ask you to do that in the first week of the course. I'm going to have you build this camera stand, and you already have some underlying knowledge of how a structure needs to hold together. Okay, you're probably not going to naturally just put something together that won't stand up on its own. Okay, you already have some foundation to this pyramid that you can work your way up through and create something. Okay, so hopefully you see my point. What we're here to do, not just in this course, but through your whole time at Baylor and actually through your whole career, is to expand this pyramid where we know more and more facts, we understand things more completely as we develop and progress in our careers. And this lets us apply and make more and improved designs and contributions that are created. Okay, so that's Bloom's taxonomy. How does it fit in with the course? Well, let me move this video window again. Find my mouse, there it is. Well, I remember when I was in school, sometimes it felt like instructors would just give me what I would call busy work, okay? And I don't want you to think of it as busy work. There are certain things you gotta go through, content you got to get into your brain. Sometimes it's not pleasant. Sometimes it's boring. Okay. One of my key phrases is the ability to tolerate boredom is an important career skill. All right. So tolerate the boredom. Get through the reading assignments, and what you're doing is you're building up this base of remembering and understanding. Okay. Will you remember everything? No, you won't remember everything that you've read. There's a lot of detail there, but it's there somewhere in the recesses of your brain. Okay, so um, take the reading assignment seriously. All right. So what we have you do is complete reading assignments, and along with reading assignments, I typically will have a reading quiz. All right. And so you fill out the reading assignment, and it's a timed quiz. And the idea here is if you filled this out, you'll be able to perform well on the timed quiz. All right. So hopefully you don't view that as busy work, but instead it's building up this base of the pyramid. Okay, the next thing is there are lots of practice problems in your textbook that you'll come across as you do reading assignments. Okay, it was probably my second year in college that I found the value of look at the textbook. There's practice problems in there. It gives me solutions. It's something I can work on to show that I know how to move up this pyramid. All right, it took me a whole year in college to realize I needed to get to this point where I could move up past remembering, understanding, and applying all the way to analysis. All right, that's a lot of what we do in the first 2 years of an engineering curriculum. Okay, so do those practice problems in the text. They give you the answers. We're going to also assign problems from the textbook. And here's the deal. I know that the solutions are out there. Okay, I know that you could go to some website, you could download the homework solutions, and you could get around and make a good score on an assignment, but you're not really, if you do that, you're not really building your base. Okay, you're really just cheating. Okay, and so I don't think anybody wants to cheat themselves. I understand there's pressures in college, but try to view it from this more holistic viewpoint. The question I sometimes ask myself: what is my integrity worth? Okay, is it worth the 100 I'm going to get on this homework assignment if I look up the answers on Chegg? Okay, and I think if you ask that question, most of the time the answer comes back, no, it's not worth that. All right, and it doesn't fit your goals. Your goal is to build this base of the pyramid and to create professional skills. All right, so I'm going to ask you also to submit homework. The homework problems in general will come from the textbook. And like I said, I know the solutions are out there. All right. So sometimes I'll tell you when, but a lot of times I'm going to assign homework and there's going to be enough of it where it's not practicable for someone to grade every line of your homework. Okay. So, there'll be what I call homework quizzes. So you'll know whether you're getting the right answers because the quiz answers will show up. And then you could submit your work onto Canvas, or I'm sorry, I'm probably going to use Gradescope for that. You can submit your work and I will give you completion grades for that. And this whole process is designed to get you motivated to keep up with the homework on time. Okay, so the other part that I do is I have these video lectures where I talk about important topics. Hopefully each video is less than 20 minutes so that you can focus your full attention on that. And my philosophy is to try to have a quiz for every video, all right? And so part of the reason for that is it lets me know whether or not you're working on things. So, in Canvas, I've set up some modules. I want you to go through those modules and mark your progress as you go. And that lets me keep up with your progress. And if we're starting to see some problems, we can talk about it when we have our check-in sessions. Okay, so there's what I'm thinking on this first week. Bloom's taxonomy, you should be aware of it. You should think about that as you work through your homework. Realize you're going to find some frustrations about, wow, there's a lot of content here. What should I know? What should I remember? I would like you to kind of just sort of relax into that. Remember what you can. I'll tell you some things that are more important to remember, and we'll just work on building this pyramid together. Okay, thanks.